Hello from Axiom Space Mission Control in Houston, Texas. I'm Sonia Gavan-Carmaquet. Today is Flight Day 7 of the Axiom Mission 2 currently underway on the International Space Station. Earlier this week, John Schaffner, Ali Alkarni, and Rayana Barnawi spoke with students all around the world using a ham radio through a program called Amateur Radio on the International Space Station, also known as ARIS.
Hotel Zulu 0 ISS, this is Hotel Zulu 1, so the amateur radio, how do you copy?
Because the space station is traveling at 17,500 miles per hour around the Earth, the crew only had a few minutes to answer Saudi students' questions. This is the first time the Saudi call sign HZ0ISS has ever been used on the International Space Station. The Ax-2 crew had a busy day today executing payload operations and outreach engagements. Here is a remarkable video from the cupola looking out at the Earth. Rayana recorded this as the ISS approached the Red Sea. John also shared a view from inside the cupola as he enjoyed a moment just hanging out with the world as his backdrop. And here is a shot of Peggy and Rayana tackling the DNA nanomaterials payload, with Rayana once again operating inside the Life Sciences glove box, working as the hands and eyes of the research team on the ground. Finally, Ali tests out the EEG device to discover the effects of microgravity on the electricity of the brain. Beyond that, Peggy performed the Axiom Space Comm Systems tech demo. She also installed and operated 2 Axiom Space stowage tracking and inventory system devices in the cupola. John performed another round of exercises in the MIT skin suit and did an outreach event with the Odyssey's scholarship program. Ali and Rayana also participated in an outreach event with Saudi schoolchildren. Clearly, our crew has been working with a variety of payloads this week, some of which require various test iterations over multiple days. One of those is the Gravity Loading Countermeasure skin suit. This is an intravehicular activity suit for astronauts that has been developed to simulate some of the effects of Earth's gravity by providing vertical load on the body, from the shoulders to the feet. The goal of the MIT study is to characterize the skin suit and its physiological effects on the body during a short-duration low Earth orbit mission. In today's show, Axiom Space Chief Scientist Dr. Lucy Lowe talks with Deva Newman, Director of the MIT Media Laboratory.
Hi, Deva. Thank you so much for joining us today. Really excited to hear about some of the research for the MIT Skin Suit project today. So tell me a bit about what is this skin suit that we've heard so much about? What's it for, and what's going on Ax-2 with this project?
Thanks so much, Lucy. It's great to be here. We're really excited. We are so excited to be in orbit with you all, Axiom, with the skin suit, as you mentioned. It's called the Gravity Loading Countermeasure suit. We call it skin suit for short. And so what it is, a technology demonstrator. John is the astronaut wearing the skin suit. This is our version 8 of the suit, so we're pretty excited about this. So first and foremost, we're evaluating the comfort, the fit, and our onboard internal sensing. So it's a loading suit. So imagine we're in weightlessness. The astronauts are floating around. Of course, we have a lot of physiological deconditioning of the muscles and the bone and the spinal elongation. So the skin suit then recompresses you. Imagine applying loading from your shoulders all the way down to your soles and the material development. So imagine that compression. So we reload the spinal column so that the astronauts don't get back pain. We're testing that out. It seems like growing 2 centimeters in space and weightlessness might be fun, but it causes some back pain for folks. So we want to make sure that they're really comfortable and they can do all of their great work up there. And then it's in parallel with the exercise, because astronauts have to do a lot of exercise for their muscles and bones. And so we look at this as a technology demonstration of a material development. And basically, you can reload. So imagine the prescription, the RX. You go to the pharmacy and get the RX. Well, how much loading does a person need? And everyone probably runs around with their Fitbit or smartwatch, and you want to get in your 10,000 steps here a day on Earth. Imagine now you're in weightlessness and you have 0 steps a day because you don't have that one body weight loading. So the skin suit then is to reload up to, say, 25% or 50%. So we can kind of dial in how much compression that you're getting. And so we really are looking at reloading the astronauts. We've evolved and developed in this 1G gravity field. Now we're in weightlessness. And so we're reapplying that loading. It's a very tight fitting, second skin suit. And so it has to be comfortable. It has to be very mobile. We don't want to waste any energy using the suit. We just want them to be very comfortable. So it kind of looks like a leotard you might wear for the gym, but it has a lot of technology that we recompress, like I said, from the shoulders down to the feet, and can dial in how much loading. And then we're first we'll do the spinal elongation. We'll kind of recompress. That's aim one. And then we're looking at sensory motor function. How are people performing? How are the astronauts performing in terms of their balance, their awareness, and just how are they feeling? And then thirdly, when they do exercise, we are assessing that exercise performance to see if this new type of suit, this skin suit, can help the astronauts in parallel with when they're doing their other exercise measures.
Gotcha. That's really exciting. So good old John has volunteered to go to microgravity to get rid of the effects of gravity. And now he's wearing a suit that is actually remodeling some of those effects of gravity that he's just left behind. So I'm guessing he's interested in how that's feeling from his perspective. So you mentioned that this was version 8 of the suit. So it sounds like it's had a really long history of development over the years. Can you tell us a bit about how long it's taken to get to this point and what's happening on Ax-2 that's different from all of the previous versions of the suit?
Yeah, thanks so much. So we're really excited about this. Is the first smart suit. So we have the instrumentation when John dons it, donning and doffing, putting it on, taking it off. Then he'll, just tap on our electronics box. It's right by his sole. And that's measuring how much is he loading, how much are we loading, and what's the compression in the suit. And so those are the two measurements that we've taken before, say pre-flight or post-flight, or say you can do it in bed rest. But this is the first time ever in microgravity up on the ISS that we've been able to get the real-time measurements in flight. So we're really thrilled about that. Version 6, version 7, those two versions flew for short missions with an ESA astronaut, European Space Agency astronaut, as a technology demonstration. But that wasn't a smart suit. This is the first time we've done that we get to have our electronics on board and a much more comfortable design, we think, in the yoke, in the shoulders, where the again the compression comes from the shoulders all the way down. So we've enhanced the design for version 8. We put in some electronics to make it a smart suit, and we're really doing a full battery of sensory motor tests on this mission.
Okay, so tell me a bit about what some of those tests are. So I know that John has probably got his space legs by now and he's maneuvering fairly well up in microgravity, but what kind of exercises are actually being done in the suit? And then you mentioned the sensors as well that have been incorporated to make it a smart suit. So what kind of sensors are those?
So the sensors, they help us measure how much we're loading him, how much pressure the suit's a compression suit.
Okay.
So again, say you can think about it as I have, if I stand on Earth, one body weight, and maybe in space I'm weightless. Can we get back to 25% loading? How about 50% loading? So we're looking at some loading, and we can measure that through our sensors. The kind of the sensory motor performance, great. We're having him do different motions. He's bending down. He's always telling us subjectively, is it comfortable or not? So there's a lot of subjective questionnaires as he goes about. But then he performs exercise as well. And so as he exercises in the suit for us, then we're really taking those measurements in real time while he's using the suit.
Wonderful. So he's really bouncing around up there and getting a bit of a workout while he's up there, while he's testing the suit as well. So has he been able to tell you yet how comfortable it is, or has he been able to give some feedback on, it pinches a bit here, or this sensor sticks in a bit there?
So first we had a session that he didn't have the suit on. So that's our control session. And he went through the exercises, and we checked everything out. That went really well. And just actually this morning, it's very early at 4 a.m. I guess it was for us, at least here in Boston. We just had the first skin suit run. So he donned it. It was a great run. He put it on, said it was comfortable. He went through all the motions. We have 3 different specific aims. Again, first he's just evaluating and characterizing it. Is it comfort? But then we get into the science of it. And then we really do some measurements where we'll measure and take a look at that spinal elongation. Again, he can tell us subjectively how he's feeling, but then we'll have the quantitative data to back it up when we get the data back from the flight. And then finally we have him do some more kind of more full body motions, if you will, and some exercises. So that's where we can really tell sensory motor, how are his muscles and bones doing, and how about his posture control, and how is he feeling during all of those movements as well.
Great. And so very quickly, just to round out, I'd love to hear, do you think there's some utility for this suit back down here for us on Earth somehow, maybe patients with musculoskeletal disorders or back pain?
Absolutely. So I want to give a shout out to my wonderful PhD student, Rachel Belisal, who's been the brains behind this, and this is her PhD, and she's a biomedical engineering student in a Harvard MIT Health Science Technology program, and that's the whole point of that program. We get to fly something in space. What an opportunity! But we're really interested in compression garments for people here on Earth. Just real quickly, you might know compression stockings when you fly, things like that. That's where some of our technologies come to bear. If we can have material that compresses people circumferentially or vertically, then they're really important for cardiovascular flow, but also musculoskeletal. Imagine if someone's in the hospital and lying in bed, maybe we can provide this type of exercise suit to keep them, keep their muscles and bones, and keep them in their sensory motor performance intact. So we're really excited about the Earth biomedical applications as well for this technology.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Dava. Really great to hear about this really cool and interesting suit. We look forward to seeing what the next iteration of it is. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks so much. Can't wait for tonight's or tomorrow night's run.
Thanks, Lucy and Dava, for such a fascinating discussion. Tomorrow we'll be featuring a conversation between Dr. Lowe and Dr. Catriona Jameson of the Sanford Stem Cell Institute. They'll be talking about the cancer in low Earth orbit studies that our crew are involved in, which is a follow-on project from the science conducted during the Ax-1 mission. As we wrap up today, we wanted to highlight a creative endeavor Axiom Space is exploring with digital art. Over the course of this mission, Axiom Space 3 has been releasing digital collections from artists on our Web3 platform. Axiom Space 3 is a token-gated community network that allows members to collect premium space-inspired collectibles and engage with astronauts, space technology professionals, and Web3 entrepreneurs, building at the intersection of deep tech industries. Axiom Space and Artblocks Engine together have been offering a space-infused NFT collection initiated from the International Space Station. For more information about upcoming digital releases and how to purchase Ax-2 mission digital art pieces, visit nft.axiomspace.com. For now, I'm Sonia Gavankar-McKay. This brings us to the end of Flight Day 7. For updates throughout the mission and all things Axiom Space and Ax-2, please visit axiomspace.com. We'll see you again tomorrow.